guys, and welcome to Pep Talk on the Joe Maxwell Show. I am your host, Joe Maxwell. Today we've got some exciting topics of interest, and I say they're exciting because I am looking forward to learning from our guests, and I hope you do too. Before I welcome our guests and set today, take a look at who they are. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah,
You look beautiful.
thank you so much. You look very graceful too. Thank you so much for joining.
You're
so,
welcome.
Ngozi Okafor,
Yes.
do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, so at least our viewers get to know who you are and what you do?
Definitely. My name is, as you said, Stephanie Ngozi Okafor. I'm a qualified accountant. I'm currently the CFO for an SME business in London. I am currently also the managing director for Iklo Consultancy, where I have private clients where I give financial and accountancy advice. Also one of the executive producers for Ladies Lounge TV show.
Okay.
And also one of the co-hosts as well.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about
you've got a lot going on for you right now.
Definitely.
It's amazing how women juggle a lot, and we still keep shining, isn't it? Thanks for telling us about you.
Thank you.
Hello, Mim Fabs. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Great. So, the floor is yours.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Right, I'm Christopher-Soares. I'm a project management consultant. I work for one of the financial institutions in London. I'm a mother. Yes, I am a mother. To 3 beautiful children, 2 princesses and a prince, very recently a prince. And I am a trophy wife. I tend to call myself that. The CEO of Okafor Foods Limited. We supply African prepared ready meals to supermarkets in the UK.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Wow.
It feels like you. I can't even keep up. Yeah, I can't actually keep up. I can't keep up.
That's right.
I can't keep up with you because I'm trying to like, okay, she does it. Oh, that's amazing. It's really amazing. Well done, ladies. I think I personally like seeing women doing a lot. Right, so let's get in there. Let's talk about the topic of today.
Exciting.
I'm really itching about this. Right then, so on the importance of having a will. I die and I don't have a will. It seems to be a big problem that we have right now. But I think before we go into the topic, let's talk about let's talk a little bit about what the report of statistics say, and hopefully that can kind of help us to get into the topic easily and well. So as we all know, 2 things are certain in this world we live in, and they are life and death. Whilst many do not ever want to die, majority fail to plan their death. Did you know that approximately 86% of Africans haven't made plans for their death? Apparently, planning or drafting a will makes you think of your own mortality, which we often tend to put off. Is this a true statistics? We're about to find out. So, ladies, a little bit overwhelming. A little bit overwhelming. Okay. Right, we can see 86%.
That's outrageous.
Before we kind of go into why and what we can do to. I know you're a financial controller, and that's definitely your area.
Yeah.
What is a will? Tell us a little bit. Tell us what's the will and what's the essence of having a will.
Okay. A will is, I'll put it in very layman's terms, is you planning for your death. So what happens after you die?
That sounds crikey.
Yes. Although sometimes we don't want to think about it, as you said, 2 things are certain in life is life and death. So we're all going to die one day. And it's best for us to plan what would happen after our death. What's going to happen with our kids? What's going to happen with our homes? What's going to happen, with our money in our bank account? So it's best, and things is so much easier. It's very easy to have a will. It's not a complex process. Or you can have, with £135, you can get a will. If you're a member of the trade union, you can do it free for you. If you have life insurance, you can also have that as well. And I think it's very important for us to have it, so you can lay your plans. It's not just financially, also plan for your kids. What's going to happen when something happens to you tomorrow? So that's a very important decision for you to make. Especially as mothers and also as parents.
I guess. So why do we think as Africans we don't actually plan a will? We don't actually think. We try not to think about it. Is it true? Is it because we don't want to think, oh, I'm going to die tomorrow, and that's why I'm doing? Why do we Why don't we do that?
I think it's just the consciousness of death, and most people don't want to think about it. It's something we put behind our mind because we think it's never going to happen. But it's a reality. People die every day.
Every day.
I have a friend that died a few months back at 36 with 2 kids. So it's a reality. So I think, and also for us, is we feel, God has given us long life, which we have. Most of us are very religious, and we feel like thinking about it is going to bring it to us. No, it's a wrong notion. I think that's one of the main reason why we sort of put it off. And also, we think it's a laborious process. It's look, it's not.
But I think it is laborious.
It is
because I've tried to write a will a couple of times. I mean, I'm for it. Will is absolutely important. I mean, I called up my husband a couple of years ago and I said, "You're a wicked man."
You have to plan for us.
My exact words. And he thought, what's she on about? And I said, you don't have a will. If anything happened to you tomorrow or us together tomorrow, this kids are in trouble. And she said, oh, we're not going to die. I said, stop that. Put away that African thought. We need a will and we need it fast. He said, yeah, let's commence the process. He said, yeah, that's not a big deal. Several financial institutions sell the product every day. So we commenced this process, which he said is not laborious. And we soon found that. We had several meetings and several papers. The papers you have to complete to get your will sorted, it's a lot.
But they do say, okay, so for me, the essence of you don't, I think that's when you're trying to get it all, done properly. But I think you can actually write your own will and get a financial advisor.
Definitely, you can have a will. You can write it down and get financial advice to look at it. Look at a solicitor. You don't have to go through laborious process. It's like you're applying for a job. You have to fill the application form, and it's so important. If you spend a day, you can get it done.
Absolutely.
Let's flip things over a little bit. Let's talk about the consequences of not having a will. I think that's a key thing because people need to watch us and know that there are consequences.
Absolutely.
Even though we've heard lots of people having issues because relatives dead and they have to think about, but we need to hound in the truth and say these are the challenges you will face if you don't do it. So over to you, Ngozi.
Yes. Thank you very much. It's very important to have a will, and if you don't, as we mentioned in the previous segment, the law in this country takes over. So if you die and you don't have a will, it's called an interstate. So interstate rule takes place, and that rule, it's very. So for example, I'll give an example. I had a client who died who owns a house, and he's separated from the partner, and he's not interested in the kids and everything, and she died, and because the rule states that the first £250,000 goes to the spouse. That's the rule.
Yes.
So if you have someone you're not with,
250 goes to the spouse.
So in the UK, so 250 went straight to him, and then the 50% of the remainder goes to him. So he had 350,000 to him and just 100,000 for the kids. And there was no arrangement at all and everything. So this is someone that's not interested in the kids.
Yeah.
So if you don't plan, the law in this country will plan it for you. And the plan is based on your spouse. So if you have a problem, this is someone that is separated for 2 years.
2 years,
but as far as you're married or you're in a civil partnership, that 250 goes. So if you have 250, everything goes to the spouse, nothing to the kids.
Yeah, that's it works. I mean, if you guys are still together,
definitely
it works. But in that it can get a little bit messy because we've got to think about the children as well.
Exactly.
Whilst we're focusing and we're talking about how things work over here, I think we have a bigger challenge back home in Nigeria. So, Olayemi, what are your thoughts in terms of not having? What are the consequences of not having?
I mean, without saying too much about what the state says about not having a will when someone dies interstate, from a cultural perspective, there's lots of challenges that you'd have to go through. I mean, from a personal viewpoint, I had an uncle who passed on very recently, and educated, illiterate man, had lots of properties, lots of assets, but failed to plan. And any time his wife broached the subject, he got really upset about it and said, of course I'm not dying. It's for people in their 80s. We don't have to talk about death. We're Christians. We go to church every day.
Right, that's the problem we have.
Why do you think we're going to die?
Yeah.
So he always shoved aside the subject of will. So when he died, he died suddenly, and he had so many things, but because he failed to plan for his family, and one child out of wedlock, previous marriage, and then he had another son, and the family just took over, and they said, "I'm sorry, the first child is not from you."
Okay, so we have...
that's a cultural element and what happens when you don't have a will. So the guy is gone, he's gone to rest, but he's
left a mess behind.
He's left a complete mess behind. And they're still struggling. 3 years on, it's still not settled.
Right, so we clearly know that... I mean, it's a good thing we have that here, even though in that situation, that instance, it definitely doesn't favour.
Yeah.
And I think also in Africa, I mean, it's a never-ending issue, and I think it's something that we need to enforce on a daily basis. So I think, whilst we're talking about this, it's a good thing that you've talked about. You've got a plan for the children. I guess that would probably take me to the next question in terms of what should we have. You know, people always attribute having a will to monetary values. Do you agree?
It's not.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no.
No, I don't agree.
Do you agree?
No.
Okay, brilliant. I'm glad you don't agree. So, in terms of the content that should go into a will, what would you say?
Regards to financial or non-financial. Regards to non-financial, for your kids, if something happens to you, where do you want the kids to stay? Who is going to look after the kids? You know, what school do you want them to be? Which country do you want them to be in? That's for the non-financial. For the financial part is what's going to happen to your house? Who do you want to get the money in your bank account? Do you want your family members to have some? Do you want your spouse to have some? Do you want your kids, your brothers and your sisters? So that's one of the important part, obviously, on your will from the financial point of view. Obviously, if you have, life insurance as well, life insurance payouts. That's another point. It's important for us to have life insurance.
It is so important.
Because if you have life insurance, it covers most of the things. And it's so, not talking about will, it's so bad because because when you're here, you have control over things. You have control of your kids' school, where your kids will stay. When you die, you have no control.
That's it. You pretty much.
So thinking about a will is planning. It's not because you think you're going to die, because it's going to bring death. It's about planning your future.
I think, and I believe if you really do love your children that much, you should actually
fail them.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you fail to plan for them,
like they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Pretty much.
As fast as say it's a very selfish thing not to have a will, especially when you have kids, because it is disastrous.
It is.
So yes, I would say, plan for where do you want the kids to live, where you want the kids to go to school, what happened to your insurance payments, what happened to your house, who gets the money in your bank account, do you care for your parents, and also when you die, where do you want to be buried? Do you want to be buried in Nigeria?
That's
do you
so
want
key.
Are you keeping money?
I was just coming to that. So I know that in the Caucasian environment, some actually tell you how they want the funeral rites to go. They pay for it, not even just how. They pay for everything.
I have a client that said, when I die, keep me alive keep me there for 3 days in case I wake up.
Okay, that's a good one. I think I'll be doing something like that. Just because I happen to wake up.
And he has the money. He's putting money aside to be cremated.
Actually, my father-in-law is paid for his funeral.
But that's
he paid for it, and he brought the papers to us, and I thought, what is this man doing?
Honestly, I think as Africans, we can't just cherry pick what we kind of take from the Caucasian environment, because we try to pick a few things. But I think on the subject of a will and planning your death, it's like I have a lump in my throat. Planning your death, we still have to think about the entirety of what should go in a will.
Absolutely.
Don't ship me back to Nigeria when I'm dead, or ship me back to Nigeria. Cremate me because I think it's a cheaper option, and you can, scatter my dust here and there, all the countries that I've been to,
whatever you want to do.
But I think a lot of people, when we think about will, we always attribute this to financial.
Yes.
And I think we need to start thinking about the bigger picture.
Yes.
We need to start thinking about our children. We need to start thinking about, obviously, investment, insurance policy. And there's one thing that I forgot to talk about, having a plan B. Who wants to go into that? So you know how, for example, you have an option in terms of, okay, if I'm dead, when I'm dead, then X amount, so person takes over, and then what if that doesn't happen?
Yes.
I was reading something on the papers the other day where a man and a wife died 2 weeks apart.
Oh dear.
They had both had cancer.
I saw that.
So they both died, and so that's why you have to have plan B, plan C, even to plan Z.
Yeah.
So if it happens, is my sister going to take the kids? What happened to my sister? My brother? So you have about 5 options.
When you actually write out your will, the options are
there for you. Okay.
So it's best to use this, and because you don't know what's going to happen. There's something that happened in the news where a whole family was wiped out. Bank holiday weekend, where they came from India for holiday. And then so you have to have
plans.
Because you never know.
That's the thing, I think, because now you have control over what's happening now. So you can plan about, because you are the best person to judge, what's best for you and for your family. Yes.
Also to add, when you actually start to draw out a will, when you're constructing a will, a lot of things will come to light. Because I have a lot of godchildren, and some of them have elected me as the person for the kids to come to in the
events
that they pass on. And when they, because it's actually quite formal to say to you, are you able to, so they send the letters and I have to accept and all of that. And then I have to think about what happens to me.
Exactly. And who takes ownership.
If I take over your children and then unfortunately I pass on, then I'm going to have to pass your children plus my children to
the next person. Are they happy to take over? That's very
to accept this person's children in the event of their death.
I think that's a very smart one.
Yeah, so you have to plan it.
So, ladies, we can be here forever talking about this. Honestly, I knew this was going to be one interesting topic for us. And I think if I haven't learned anything at all, I need to go and do my well. I really hope that you are considering, or if not, making that phone call now to a solicitor or to a financial advisor to start writing a will. So on the note of today, we say plan a will, get it signed, and make sure you keep it safe. When we come back on the next segment, we'll be talking about full disclosure or not. And what we mean by that is, do you reveal it all in a relationship, or do you hold back some things? Welcome back, guys, to the second segment of today's episode. Still on set is Olayemi and Ngozi. Now we'll be talking about something a little bit more chilled, I think, and it's on the subject of full disclosure or not. Do you fully reveal to your spouse, or do you hide some things? We're about to find out from Olayemi and Ngozi. Yes, ladies! Hello!
This is disclosure. It sounds very legal.
On the full disclosure, I think we're going to make it easy. Ngozi, full disclosure, yes or no?
Just yes or no?
Yes or no?
No.
No. Oh. Olayemi, full disclosure or not?
Catch me in the middle.
No, it's a yes or no.
It's not that straight cut. It depends on what it is.
Okay, in an exam, you've got a question, yes or no?
No.
What do you do?
None of the above.
Hell no.
I thought I was probably the only one. It's getting a little bit hot in here. A little bit steamy. Right, okay, let's get into defining what full disclosure mean, right? So in your own terms, Ngozi, what do you think full disclosure means?
I'll be a bit, I have a different point of view here.
Okay.
Full disclosure is telling everything about yourself to your spouse.
Yeah.
And I think that's literally impossible. So I think in a relationship, you should be, I think the way you can, you can disclose things is be yourself.
Right.
I think that's the best way.
Okay.
And I think give information. You cannot be telling a spouse about every most embarrassing moment you had in your life.
Well, I don't think that's what we're talking about here. You know, I know it's almost like you're saying no, but you're kind of giving the spouse the hints that what I'm trying to say is a bit different. No, I think it's about the real stuff. You know, the real. Olayemi, what's your definition of full disclosure?
I think it's telling it all. It's telling it all in the area of how many people you've dated.
Oh, okay.
If you had premarital sex, you were able to spill it.
Okay.
If you dated, if you did drugs, if you smoked, if you did all the bad stuff, if you were in a brothel before you got married.
Am I allowed to change my
all of that?
Of course.
So I think yes, to an extent.
Right.
Yes.
Because, for example, you have a friend of mine was dating another guy, and they went for a wedding. Yeah, a long time ago. And she realized the guy she was dating was best friend with her husband. Obviously, they haven't seen him for a long time. But she never told him they dated. So,
okay.
It's not
Hold on. Okay. You know, okay. Without going into too much, there must be a reason for her to feel, oh, sugar, I should have told my husband about this. But essentially, how many, I mean, I don't know that people, you'd say, I dated Bobby Brown, I dated
Kanye West.
I don't know that we go into that much. Well, you know, you can say I dated 5 guys.
Yeah.
You don't really, you know. But anyway, let's make it a little bit more interesting. We know not everyone can handle the truth, right?
Yeah.
So there are some things that I think guys would want to know. They would want to know, for example, how many guys have you dated? They're nicely asked those questions, but I'm sure what they're asking is not dated, is how many guys have you been with, you know? Yeah. So whilst we know a lot of people can handle the truth, and we know the truth is often bitter, how then do we deal with that? Because it's okay for men to have dated 20 girls, 100 girls, that actually slept with them, but then it's not okay for us to have done that. What are your thoughts around that, Olayemi?
I'll let you answer.
On a personal front, luckily I didn't date many people before. I met my husband quite young, so I didn't really have any cockroaches in my cupboards or anything like that. But with the benefit of hindsight, if I went down that route and probably dated a number of people who was wild when I was younger, with the kind of person my husband is, I'm not too sure if I would tell him all of that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes not knowing is not hurting somebody, and no news is but good. I'll just say,
no news is good news.
No news is good news. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
No news is good news. So if you don't tell him, he's on a need-to-know basis. Something. You don't tell him everything, and put him on edge or make him think you're something you're not, and all of that. And especially with men, they can't handle a lot of things. They can't.
Yeah.
I mean, my ex-boyfriend, my husband knows who they are, and he doesn't want to see me around him, and that's, I can just tell.
Yeah.
If I had several of those,
Yeah.
then I won't be able to walk the streets.
Yeah, pretty
or
much.
go to certain countries or visit
Yeah,
some people.
yeah.
So, and I know within my heart, once it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
But it's for him to deal with that.
deal with it.
And you don't really want to expose your husband to that.
Well, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So let's flip it around a little bit. So on that's on a relationship matter.
Yeah.
When it comes to finances and investment and all of that good stuff, I know you guys are married, so of course you would be playing the wife and mummies. But would you fully reveal your financial status? So assuming you're dating, but it's a good, decent relationship, it's going to lead somewhere. Would you fully disclose your finances and your status, how buoyant you have?
It depends on the relationship and depends on the person. Some ladies who are doing very well would not want to disclose too much, so just don't want to affect the guy's ego. But depending on who you're dealing with, how can he deal with if you're very successful? Compared to him who is not, doing that much. But I think if you're two of you doing very well, yes, what's the problem about? I don't see a problem disclosing everything to your spouse, because obviously boyfriend, but you're going to get married soon.
Yeah, someday.
But it just depends on the relationship and depends on the person, because most men can't handle too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you support full disclosure of income?
Personally, we operate one pot, so there's no way you wouldn't see everything.
See that.
I see what comes in for him, and I see what comes in for me.
Right.
Again, that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
We've always been like that, and it's worked for us. So there's nothing to disclose. It's all in there.
Yeah, I think it's very risky not to, because something happened in events of death. Well, how would
exactly?
There's lots of families, especially people in Nigeria. I had a friend. The parents were living in a house. They were living in a flat, and the father died. And the father's friend brought in about 80 million naira.
Oh, wow.
And the mother did not even, she has no clue about the man.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for people to cheat you, collect your money, or you have money in the bank account somewhere.
Everything is worked by just going
which
like
is closed.
that.
Which the government will just take the money.
Yes.
So it's good for you to
know.
disclose financial information to your spouse.
There's been a lot of things going on recently about women having investments without their husbands knowing of it. And there was actually a very funny one that went a bit viral on Facebook, and it was about I think the wife had a property which the husband never knew of. And again, it might be because it was a lazy person, or the husband does. I don't know what the background is, but there's always. There's always backstory
unique to them.
But essentially what happened was that I think they rent. So she has a property that he doesn't know of, and they do rent. So rather than let's move into my house, we're going to keep renting. So it got to a point where they had to move from where they are to move to another house.
And she wouldn't still release her property.
The husband didn't even know she owned the property.
Wow.
So they moved into as a tenant into her property, and he still didn't know about it. 2 years down, hold on, I'm playing devil's advocate here. 2 years down the line, the landlord had to increase the rent by 500,000 naira.
Oh my God! Love it.
Girl, listen, I'm like, she's where?
She's
right
crazy.
up my street.
A different
Hold
level.
on, she's a different
On another level.
Girl, listen,
Oh my God.
I was like, okay. And then guess what? And that's why I said there's always a story behind it.
Yes.
And I think from the story, what I read was she had to loan them the 500,000 naira. So is it a case of she's married into a relationship where the guy is just very lazy and sits on his, you know what I mean?
Or spendthrift, I just spend all the money.
She believes the only way I can support myself and protect my children is to have stuff for myself.
Yeah.
Because if she's having to add money to the rent. It shows that probably he's not paying the school fees, he's not doing stuff.
Exactly.
And she's trying to make him step up. So there are times, you know, obviously we do say, oh no,
we
you
don't
don't
have
keep.
the full
We don't
story,
have the.
so
But
we can't be judgmental.
You know,
But then, what happens to the relationship when the man finds out?
So
There's no much trust.
So I guess that then brings me to, so there's something I wrote here. Is it true that when two people keep information away from each other and cannot tell each other the truth, that means they don't love each other? Is that a valid statement? Think about it, ladies, because you were about to delve into that particular thing now. Oh, God, listen about it. But I love my man. Right, and think about it. Just think about it.
I feel generally, if you love someone, you share everything with the person. I think it's. I don't think it's love to keep that sort of information. That's I don't know the situation, as I said. Every situation is different, but I believe that if you love someone, you'll be honest with them, and you find other ways to help them be responsible. I think it's a bit dubious to do that to your own family.
I'll come in personally on that, actually. It happened to me, my husband and I. So normally it's very open. We run a very open marriage. Not open to other people, but open in terms of open with each other. But there's something that he likes to do that I don't like. I don't like at all, which is trading. My husband is heavily into trading, and to me that's a very, very high risk investment.
Very high risk.
He understands it. That's why we shut up.
You're trying to. Well, don't forget she's a financial controller here.
He tries to. He's tried to convince me, and it's failed on every occasion. So what he did, which I found out, my husband's so open, and because he doesn't talk much either. He said, I can't get this woman to do what I want her to do, and I know there's money in this thing. So this is his explanation to me when I found out what he was doing, and he said, oh, I wanted to do it so that I can show you how much money I've made. And he made, yes, he doubled his money. But it came to me after he had done it.
So there's a thin line.
I fought with him. I was so livid. I said, you put the family's money, so much money, not little money, into stock. And then you tell me what if you had lost everything? It's 50-50 with stock. And he said, because you don't believe in it. And I need to tell you that, I believe in it. Please allow me. So I felt really bad. I mean, I felt so bad. I gave myself a few days. I thought thoroughly about it, and I went to him and I said, actually, I'm sorry. If I'm so hard that you can't even tell me, something is wrong. I felt stupid. My husband I'm making my husband this way. It's not like
but I don't think it's about it's about
you're just caring for the family.
Yes, but we just have different opinions. And now I'm into it. Now we're both into it.
Okay, that's good on you.
Results.
Another point I was going to say is about kids. So a lady that has a kid somewhere. Not saying
we're not. No.
Now that's evil.
Okay, you know what? We will have to cut the conversation because we're going into a whole different conversation here.
Real drama.
Right? I think we're gonna cap it here. You know, as we all know, it's always fun on set here. I mean, we can be here forever. It feels like the two topics we've talked about today, we could have probably just have them on each episode. And as far as that, you know, as far as I can see based on our conversation, I think every relationship is different. You decide what works for you. Full disclosure or not full disclosure. We're not here to tell you what to do. But always remember, you need to understand and know who your other spouse is. Some people can handle the truth, and that's the honest, you know, we know not everybody can handle it. But you've just got to do what works for you and what works for the other half. Wow, right. So it's been amazing on set today. I've had a fantastic time and I've learned so much. Is it about the importance of writing a will or about full disclosure or non-full disclosure? Now we're about to round this whole episode up. But before we go, let's find out what our guest pet peeves are. And pet peeves, just so you know, are things that our guests don't like. So when you meet them, you dare not do them. So Olayemi,
yes, baby.
Tell me, what is it that I don't know that? So I just don't do. So what are your pet peeves? So what is your pet peeve?
You're safe, actually.
I'm safe.
You are so safe.
I am always safe.
I absolutely hate fakery. I don't do fake people.
Right.
I don't do fake products.
But we have hold on. When you say fake, God's created man and woman, black and white. So there's nothing fake about me.
Oh Lord.
So let's define what you mean by fake.
People that are just not genuine. They're not. they're not themselves.
Yeah.
They're just not real. They're unreal people.
We've got
Unreal
lots
to
of- we've
themselves
got lots of people
and
like
unreal
that.
to other people. And the worst part of it, it actually comes through. It shows through that you're being fake.
Fake, yeah.
You know what? Be real.
Yeah, and be yourself.
Be yourself.
Yeah, be confident in
confidently who you
yourself.
are.
Yeah, and who you are,
confidently
regardless of whatever.
So this is me.
Yeah, that's a
Big
good one.
hair.
I like that.
By the way.
Over to you, Ngozi.
For me, I hate people who are ungrateful.
Oh.
I think we have
Another one for me.
And people who take advantage of people. I think those are the two things I hate. Because sometimes when you are really nice, I think I'm a very nice person. People who take advantage of you and people who just don't say thank you. I think there are little things in life that it doesn't hurt to say thank you.
Yeah.
And most people don't have that. They just do it. In
They don't. They
You
don't.
know,
It's
that's one thing.
expectation, isn't it?
Yeah, they
It's not
expect
a
too
big
much
deal.
from
Expect-
you,
And then they give
and you
nothing or
and they
little
give
or nothing.
nothing.
Yeah,
They just,
pretty
you
much.
know,
Yeah,
so that's
and then what you hear is expect nothing from people.
Exactly.
When nothing
No.
irks
Oh,
me.
they'll be like, oh, what have you even done?
Exactly.
It irks me, but yeah.
I know what you say, like have zero expectation.
Do you know what I mean? No.
It
doesn't.
I've done my bit.
Then you do your. Look, can we meet somewhere?
Or come and say thank you for
Yeah,
doing
when
that
it's done,
for me.
thanks for that.
Right,
so that
yeah.
happens.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Exactly.
You don't worry about that. Thank you, ladies, for joining. It's
Thanks
been
for having us.
awesome
Thank you. It's been a
today.
pleasure
Thank you
being
so
here.
much, Ngozi. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much.
Olayemi. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please join the conversation by using the hashtag #TheJMSShow. If you have any questions, please email us at info@joemaxwellshow.com. Until next time, I am your host, The Joe Maxwell Show.